Okay, here we go. Finally, I'm gonna make tonight what they call Jajayeh. It's from Palestine and Jordan. And it sounded really good to me. So here's what the ingredients are. I have about a pound of strip steak that I'm gonna cut very thin strips to cook. Normally with strip steak, you cook it, you cook it on the barbecue and then you cut thin slices out of it. I'm going to cut the thin slices first. Little onion, some of this Moroccan spice, and some ground cumin and allspice. And that will be a white sweet onion. That's the only onions I use. I don't use the yellow onions. Not at all. And here we have a red pepper. I'm going to slice that very thin. Oh, it's got two things on it. I hope they didn't charge me double for it. And some jalapenos. I was going to put in some garlic, but then I thought, well, that might change the whole flavor of the thing. So here we are. Oh yeah, and the primary thing is you have to cook this in a cast iron pan to sort of duplicate the pan that they use over in Jordan or Palestine. That's called a Jajayeh. Okay, so I've mixed up 2 teaspoons of the Moroccan, half a teaspoon of cumin, and half a teaspoon of allspice. And I've got them all blended together, and I'm going to sprinkle that on the sliced meat. And I'm going to pour about 3 tablespoons of good extra virgin olive oil in here and cook them up. Add a little bit of salt, start browning these guys up so everybody's nice and brown. I don't normally use that much oil, 3 tablespoons, but it looks like it's what we need for this much meat. It's a pound of meat. And you see that water boiling up? We want to cook that until the water starts to release. So it's going to take about 10 minutes of time to do that. So we want to cook it until that water releases. Slice up onion fairly thin. And here's the bell pepper sliced up thin. I like to call this matchstick type. So there you go. Next will be the jalapenos. If you notice, you have plenty of time to slice up these vegetables while the meat is cooking, and you'll have plenty of more time. Okay, you see how the oil is coming through and the water is evaporated. So we're going to add a half a cup of water. And we're going to cover that and cook it for another 5 to 7 minutes, or approximately when the rest of the water is evaporated again. Okay, so that water has evaporated down. So what we're going to do is add another half a cup of water. Once again, cover, let it come down. 5 to 7 minutes. Notice I used a hot cover because, let me tell you, that cast iron gets pretty hot. Okay, here's the jalapenos that are sliced like matchsticks. I only use 2 jalapenos because they're pretty spicy this time of year. And I could smell the spice when I started to cut them up. So that's why I backed off to 2 jalapenos instead of 3. Okay, the water has released. The water has evaporated and the oil is released. So we're going to add our vegetables. The onion, then the bell pepper, and then the jalapeno. Add a little bit of salt. Okay, so the onion is browned. It looks pretty good. And now for the last time, another half a cup of water. And we're going to stir that up. We're not going to cover it this time. Not going to cover it. Just stir it around. Get that nice sauce going. Sorry about that. The dog got a little excited. So we're just going to stir this around until it all mixes up, about 3 or 4 minutes. I added about another 1/4 cup of water. See, I put some more water in there so we can make a nice sauce. And you can serve this hot. And I suggest, since we live in the Southwest, or since I live in the Southwest, a nice tortilla with it. Or if you can pick up some naan, that would also go with it. Just going to let that roast a little bit. Now that gravy would really go good with bread. Just sop it up off the bottom of the pan. So that's the dinner tonight. Hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe next week I will release a video I made a while ago about my secret recipe for salsa. And the recipe stays the same all year long. Whether the hot peppers the jalapenos, of course they're hot peppers, are hot or mild. It's the same recipe for the whole year. I'll release that next week. Promise. Cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye. If you like this video, subscribe, press the like button. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much.